They're unhappy and they're not going without a fight. The Greyhound Racing industry says Winston Peters' decision to wind it down and ban all races from July next year is the wrong one. It was rushed, they say, and done without proper consultation. They got, how's this, 1 hour's notice that their entire industry has been closed down. Tonight, we'll speak to a supporter of the industry and the owner of rehomed greyhounds. He's got 4 of them. He says the industry has been treated poorly. Crucial facts which show the industry has cleaned itself up have been ignored. And it's becoming clear the industry is also being muzzled or blocked or cancelled by the New Zealand media. The editor-in-chief, it's me, will tonight reveal that the Christchurch Press this week refused to run an open letter from Greyhound Racing New Zealand, a paid ad, part of an advertising feature, that they wanted to buy. They wanted it in the paper as an open letter to the Prime Minister. And it was stopped. It was not published. It was banned by the Christchurch Press. Hang on, that's censorship, isn't it? They couldn't get it past the front door. Welcome to the program.
Are we paying these people to front up, or are we paying them to fly to Wellington to eat their lunch? Should you really lose your career for refusing to take part in a 90-minute lesson about Māori culture? This government doesn't actually have any idea how to get economic growth. Show us what you made of, Prime Minister.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Duncan Garner. Welcome along to the podcast, and please subscribe. It helps us stay around. We're really helpful. Thank you. Winston Peters made the move to ban greyhound racing. This was last December. And by July next year, it's gone. There'll be nothing left of the industry. But Tom Rickards, a long-time greyhound man and backer of the greyhound racing industry, and he's got 4 greyhounds himself, says Peters has got this horribly wrong. Tom says it was panicked and rushed and they got no notice, 1 hour's notice. So now 2,900 greyhounds will have to be rehomed. That's a huge job. And an entire industry will shut their doors for the last time July the 31st next year. It's all over now. The industry had plenty of warning. Top-level reports, inquiries into the state of the industry were released in the last number of years. And all the focus was on the numbers of dogs dying. And each time the government looked into it, it got worse, not better. Now we've discovered the greyhound industry and Greyhound Racing New Zealand can't even get a public discussion underway. Their side of the story, because this week the Christchurch Press refused to run one of their advertisements, an open letter to Christopher Luxon and the government, trying to get their side of the story out there. It's censorship, isn't it? When do you ban that sort of thing? Let's go.
It's the Slam Dunk.
Okay, so the greyhound racing industry feels like this decision was taken in a rushed manner and that they weren't properly consulted and spoken to. Well, they weren't spoken to at all. They just got a phone call that said, hey, we're shutting you down in an hour. Report after report had been done into the greyhound racing industry in New Zealand, and the numbers of dog deaths as a result was deemed far too high. And Winston Peters decided he'd seen enough evidence, read enough for these reports, and it was now well past time to stop the sport in its tracks. Labor had and ahed about this in office. They got close. They put the industry on notice. They said they're on thin ice, but they never had the kahunas to do it. Winston did. It took Winston, a horse racing nut, to turn the lights off for the greyhound racing industry. It's hit them really hard. A number of months down the track now from the decision, and they're hurting. So they're looking at this judicial review of the decision. That's really expensive, but they're looking into this. And Greyhound Racing New Zealand says over the last 2 years, the industry has really pulled its socks up, and they didn't deserve to go. Fewer dogs are dying, and more rehoming of dogs is taking place. No dog is forced to race, they say, and in some instances they'll spend $15,000 on a dog to get it back to a state of good health and into a new home. But they say their efforts were not taken into account, so they tried to get this paid advertisement into the Christchurch Press. But the press blocked it and refused to run the advertisement, which is rare, really rare. And now they're crying foul, saying this is censorship, of course. Of course it is. Here's the banned open letter. I'll put it up here so you can have a look. This is the letter that the press refused to run. It says, an open letter to Cantabrians. Dear fellow Kiwis, this weekend the Prime Minister will host his National Party conference where he will trumpet a growing economy and thousands of jobs created across New Zealand. The arrogance and hypocrisy of this is astounding. With his radical greyhound racing ban, Luxon's attacking the economy in the regions and the lives of ordinary Kiwis. Over 1,000 jobs in the regions will go. The economic loss in Canterbury alone is nearly $550 million. The Prime Minister says we've lost our social licence. We say he's lost his spine and is bowing to the activists. The reality is that greyhounds are the heroes of our sport. They're treated with love, care and dignity, much better than many privately owned dogs. They have annual vet and dental checkups, kennel audits, top quality food, daily exercise. And over 6,000 unloved pet dogs were euthanased by councils in their care over the past year. 4,500 of those were in Auckland. Greyhound racing has had 9 race day euthanasias and 4 sudden deaths from the 33,500 times the dogs raced. Almost half the rate of the thoroughbred racing is what they're saying. Official reports conclude that we've met all our welfare requirements the government has made of us. They say greyhounds lead good lives. We've built our lives, families and communities around the sport. We will lose our jobs, lose our livelihoods, and we'll lose our sport. It's a sport that we absolutely love. So no matter what Luxon tells his followers this weekend, just remember he's giving in to the activists rather than learning the facts and defending ordinary Kiwis like you. Sincerely, your Greyhound Racing community, is what they say. They say the decision from the government is callous. As it is from the press as well. The press claimed that they needed to firm up their facts and they needed to be substantiated. They wouldn't accept the official stats and news media reports that the industry provided them. The fact is at least 6,000 unloved pet dogs are euthanized every year. And 52% of all dogs in the pound in Auckland they're killed. They're euthanized. Dead. For the first time in New Zealand's history, more dogs get put down than survive in the pounds. The Auckland Council's 23-24 animal control report says there were 4,007 dogs euthanized in that year. And a One News story last year said Auckland Council euthanized 6,000 dogs in 24. It's a remarkable number of dogs if you line them all up. Another fact is the thoroughbred horse racing has almost doubled the race day euthanasia rate than greyhounds. And those are the facts if you look at the reports. Facts matter, I always say, and I think in the interest of open and fair debate, both sides should be getting their side of the story out. And it's a howler not to accept this as a paid advertisement. It's like everyone's collapsed into behind the decision, leaving the racing industry sort of lonely at the end of the road with no one to turn to. They can't even get their paid advertisement into a newspaper in the form of an open letter. Our democracy's broken when you can't do that, isn't it? You've got to at least hear their side of the story. You may not agree with their industry, but at least let them speak. You've got to let them speak and have their say. If you don't get their side of their point of view, what's the point? My view, you mustn't muzzle groups on any side of the debate. Indeed, it's our job to publish. You can be damned after that, but be publishing. Because if you only hear from one side of the narrative, or one narrative, you're going to be lost. You're not hearing the other side of the story. And you're in real trouble then, and I think this industry deserves to be heard. You may not agree with their industry, but at least listen to them and hear them out. That's fair.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.
Okay, so Tom Rickards has been in the greyhound racing industry. He's been in it for donkey's years. Unhappy, grumpy, and he thinks the government's got this really wrong. He's angry that they couldn't get their advertisement in the paper, obviously. And Tom joins us now. Tom, nice to have you on the podcast. Welcome on board.
Good to see you.
Yeah, so you've got how many months has it been? 6 or 7 months since the government announced that it was all over for the greyhound racing industry. What are your feelings now towards the whole thing? I mean, are you guys putting up much of a fight because you've talked about a sort of going to court, haven't you?
Yeah, we're fighting as hard as we can. It's a bit of a difficult process because all the bunny huggers, for want of a better term, have convinced everyone we're evil. And we don't care about our dogs and all that, so it's a very difficult process. Generally the first conversation I have with somebody is, it's brilliant greyhound racing's being canned. It's like, no, that's the worst thing ever for the dogs.
And why is that?
Greyhound racing 100% refunds for the dogs to go into homes after their racing careers finish, or if anything happens and the dog doesn't race, they fund anything it needs. There's one dog here, a local puppy named Jasper. About 4 months old, he broke his leg in the paddock, running around playing with the rest of his pack. Never going to race, massive amount of surgery needed. Greyhound Racing spent about $9,000 on this dog to get it to a stage where it was ready to go into a home, and now is very happy living in a home in Wanganui as a pet.
Yeah, because some dogs you can spend up to 15 grand on, right? You can spend, and they do.
Yeah,
right?
They can spend clear of that. There's dogs that they've just spent absolutely crazy amounts of money on. It's just ridiculous. I couldn't spend $15,000 on my dog. I don't have it.
So what do you say to all those critics, around, the dogs that have died and the dogs that have, what do you say to that?
I'll explain to them our situation, how much we do care about the dogs, how much work we put in, that Greyhound Racing is funding them, and generally just try to tell them the truth of what we have. Well, I do tell the truth of what's going on our side.
Because more thoroughbreds. So what the stats are that more thoroughbreds die during the events than dogs. Correct?
Definitely. In comparison, thoroughbred racing to greyhound racing, I do support both passionately. Thoroughbred racing is the Wild West. It's nowhere near as regulated. It's nowhere near there's no much near as auditing. It's just it's a totally different game.
So why do you think Winston shut you guys down?
I don't know. There's something going on. There's got to be a reason he did it, because I can't figure out why he would shut down something that's regulated and looking so good. We've been doing everything they've asked, and then we got an hour's notice before it all happened. It's like, well...
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing, an hour's notice, so you weren't consulted.
No.
I mean, there were they did have a number of inquiries and reports into the industry, which were initially pretty damning, but you guys also cleaned up your act as well in that last couple of years. No consultation?
No, there's nothing. There's literally nothing. The first we heard of it, like the outfit I helped with Night Rape, the first we knew there was a post on Facebook that it was getting shut down. And everyone's sitting there going, this can't be true. It's how people have heard they're going to lose everything. Or a Facebook post.
Yeah.
Not really fair.
So how many people will be affected by this? How many people lose their jobs?
Thousands. Divides. Got the number here. Over 1,000 full-time jobs. 1,054 roughly at the moment. So.
Yep. And they'll need to rehome about 3,000 dogs.
Yep. And that's got to be funded somewhere.
And how hard will that be to do?
It's a lot of work. And it'll get harder because obviously the funding will dry up if the dogs aren't racing. Where's the money going to come from? And we're not about money.
And so you tried to post an ad in the Christchurch Press.
Yep.
An open letter to Christopher Luxon, which I've read, and it's basically stop the hypocrisy and give us our industry back. And you point out some of the facts and stats, and they wouldn't run it.
No, they wouldn't. They're just not even remotely interested in wanting us to substantiate our facts. Well, we have, and if you want more information, come look. Nobody's hiding behind it.
Yeah, but it's pretty rare to censor an ad. You know, they usually take. I mean, from what I've seen with the ad, it's a standard open letter. You know, this is a challenging sector. This is a challenging decision from the government. You know, it's quite confronting for you guys, and you're putting your side of the story back in a publication. You've taken an ad out and paid for it. I would have thought that this is censorship now.
Yeah, it is. I sort of have the thought: do we live in a communist country where we're not allowed an opinion when this happens? Because it's like there's not even a swear word in the letter. So, yeah.
Maybe you need one.
Yeah, maybe.
The industry itself. How angry are all the people that you know in the industry about because this is your life, isn't it?
Oh, it's many people's lives. The people I know, it's not so much anger; it's heartbreak more than anything. People sitting there going, well, what are we going to do in a year's time? We've got no income, we've got all these dogs to feed, we've got a mortgage, we've got a family, we love our dogs, but what are we going to do? That's more what I'm feeling from them.
I mean, and there's no room for you to take any more dogs on because you've already got 4.
Yeah, I don't want any more dogs. I said to the wife, no more dogs, and we had 2, so...
Yeah. That is a worry, though. 2,900 dogs or 3,000 dogs, coming off the track and into society. Who's going to have them? I mean, they're good pets, right?
They're brilliant pets. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I've talked to different shelters before and everything. It's so hard to house what we've got. I mean, in Auckland, I think we euthanised almost 5,000 dogs. We euthanised 52% of all dogs in the pound last year. For the first time, we euthanised more than we kept alive.
Yeah,
in Auckland.
Yeah, exactly. That's just in Auckland what was euthanised. The Greyhound Racing last year, I think it was 7 were euthanised. 13 dogs were euthanised for Greyhound Racing.
Do you accept, though, that your industry needed to be tidied up? Do you accept that there were pockets of, cowboy elements and bad elements?
Several years ago there was. Now I'd say there's a lot less. I'd love to say there's definitely none, but there's always going to be a small minority that don't play by the rules, regardless of what it is, whether it's media, mechanics, whatever. There's always going to be that horrible little group. And if there is somebody in the industry, when they get caught, they get the book thrown at them. They will never race dogs again.
Yeah. But you don't think it warranted the entire industry being shut down?
No.
I mean, the hypocrisy to me is, I suppose, horse racing. We might as well shut down everything.
Yeah, exactly. And why are they picking on us? The thing that really got me is, several weeks later, there's a photo of our Prime Minister and his wife at the thoroughbred races. You're shutting down the greyhounds. Come on, mate. Hey.
Yeah. Well, it's all about jobs, though.
Yeah, jobs. Heaps of jobs gone. It's just...
Jobs-led recovery. Yeah. So what are you guys going to do? You were going to have a judicial review, but, are you still doing that?
Yes, definitely. That's still going on in the background. There's a lot of cogs in motion on that. we're doing it.
Is there anywhere around the world? Where they have been shut down and they've overturned
I
it?
think it was Western Australia it happened in. Not sure. That's
Yep.
what I want to say. That sounds to me, I couldn't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, that's what I remember.
Okay. And so you guys believe you got the facts and the stats to turn it
Yeah.
around and prove to them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need people to listen and tell our story. We want to hear our story.
And is there a livelihood to be made in with greyhounds? I mean, obviously there's a number of jobs going. So do these guys make a living from
They
it?
do. There's a good livelihood to be made in it, and it's a good lifestyle.
Yeah. So, but they've done it for all their life. So what do they do now?
Yeah.
What are their skills? What can
Yeah,
they do?
exactly. What are you going to do? Oh, I've been training greyhounds for the last 10 years. It can't apply to be a mechanic or whatever. Everybody's going to go, yeah, what skills transferable? Yeah.
So you guys didn't get any heads up from the government? You got a 1 hour notice?
Yeah, 1 hour notice, no heads up. Most of it, as I said, the organisation I'm involved with, we found out on Facebook.
Insulted?
Oh, I was beyond insulted. It was just devastating. A couple of weeks before Christmas, geez, I'd rather a kick in the head than getting that.
So, in 6 months down the track, what's caused you to want to talk now? I suppose. Why now? Because I mean, this is a 6 months old decision.
We've been trying to talk in the background for ages and trying to get our opinion out there. We've gone to public events. The most recent one I did was Central District Field Days. That was the most recent one I did.
Yep.
And that was a lot of talking with people. Even talked to a few people from government. Talked to a couple of the ladies from Winston's office who had a lovely time petting our greyhounds. But, yeah.
And are you finding the media's not giving you a fair go? Because I mean, it's because the narrative is shut this industry down. It's evil. It's nasty. So shut it down. So no one wants to give you a fair go.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding. That's very much what I'm finding. They've got their story and cruel to greyhounds that catches people's attention. You see something about cruelty to animals. We're not cruel to our dogs. Why would we hurt our dogs, particularly the trainers? You hurt the thing that makes you money. It'd be like having a Formula 1 car and running it into the barrier every race. There's no logic.
Yeah. And is it any different to horse racing, snail racing,
Yeah.
toad racing? I mean, animals racing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, you better line up Winston at some stage and keep fighting.
Yeah, he hasn't spoken to us at all. They've multiple times, Greyhound Racing has said, we want to talk to you, and just get nothing. Absolutely zero comes from his office.
Yeah, you've requested meetings and you just can't get
Yeah,
to
there's
them.
been multiple requests, and he's just...
Yeah. Well, he's a big supporter of the horses. I wonder if there's some sort of, I don't know, is there something in that,
Yeah.
Because the money that goes after the greyhounds will now possibly be transferred to the horses, He's a huge advocate for the horses.
Yeah, exactly. He's been notorious for horses his whole life. But,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, I think he used to support dogs too.
yeah, well, that's what we want. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to us.
Yeah. Yeah. So you guys will keep
We're
fighting?
definitely going to keep fighting. We're never going to stop fighting.
Yeah. And your message to the Christchurch Press for not letting you run your open letter?
Oh, come on, people. Tell the truth.
Yeah. All right, Tom. Hey, we'll leave it there, mate. Awesome. Nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you too.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.
Okay, that is us. Thanks for your feedback and support. Get in touch with our social media channels, Duncan Garner Podcast, TikTok and Instagram, or flick us an email, duncan at rover.nz. To my team, Isaac, thank you, brother, and all the boys in behind you. Are there any boys in behind you? What's behind you? Not much. Okay. We'll do it again next week. Enjoy your weekends, of course. Remember, life's no dress rehearsal, no curtain raiser. This is it. You're living it. You're living your best life. So get out and enjoy it. And take care, New Zealand. Ta-ra. Have a good evening.
Editor-in-Chief with Duncan Garner.